Hello, I'm Kate West from ICN Victoria, and welcome to our virtual fireside for a chat with Chance Creator Karolina Crouch and Chief Chance Creator Rob Brown from Fruit2Work, and our own Lynn Johnson, who leads the ICN Victoria Social Procurement Program. Good afternoon, everyone. So Karolina, Karolina, I'd like to start with you. Can you tell us a bit about Fruit2Work?
Fruit2Work is a certified non-for-profit social enterprise that creates chances through transitional employment for people who have been impacted by the justice system. So we do this by supplying fruit, milk and pantry staple items to businesses across Melbourne. We've been doing this for 5 years. We've transitioned 50 people so far, with none of them going back to prison. And this has in turn saved the taxpayer $12.5 million.
Oh, my next question is why were you attracted to it and what drives you? Although hearing the Fruit2Work story in such a succinct manner, I think I can imagine what does, but I'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. What drives me is the purpose, the people, helping people, giving people a chance that normally wouldn't get one. So watching people come through the door, they walk in, they're anxious, they're nervous, there's little eye contact, and you watch them transition through the period, gaining their confidence, sharing their story with you, building trust, and just watching them, their eyes light up again, and they're excited again about the future. That drives me. It's just seeing those changes. They're remarkable.
Beautiful.
That's lovely. Rob, my question to you is, can you please explain to our audience why you feel social enterprise engagement is valuable?
I think there's probably a number of drivers in today's environment, especially in the infrastructure space, given that certainly in Victoria and now in broader Australia, there's a social enterprise framework and strategy, which is driving social procurement purchasing through government tenders. So therefore, most large contracting organisations who do government work are now measured, or part of their measurement, in fact, even part of the tender process, is to sign up to a level of social procurement as part of the project. And by doing business with somebody like Fruit2Work, we automatically contribute towards them achieving that target. So holistically, any purchase that's made through Fruit2Work contributes towards the achievement of their social procurement target that they've signed up to as part of the tender. So that's one aspect of it. There are other organisations who engage with social enterprise because they've got purpose in their DNA. So there are organisations who just genuinely believe that doing something good is doing something good. And if they get the social procurement benefit through tendering at the same time, then why not?
It just makes plain sense. Thank you, Rob. And a follow-up to that is, why are contractors attracted to working with your business and your members?
I think one is we operate as a commercial business, so we provide the same, if not better, service quality in commercial terms that any other commercial business would. So we don't behave like people's image of a charity. So we're actually a bona fide commercial business, and we operate in commercial terms. So that makes it easy for another commercial organisation to do business with us. And secondly, by spending money you're already spending with an organisation like ours, you're almost getting the social purpose for nothing. Because most organisations that we do business with, we're already supplying fruit and milk to their employees, either as part of well-being or just part of their normal day-to-day activity. And by converting or diverting the spend to us, they provide the same benefit to their employees whilst satisfying social purpose and dealing with one of the biggest social malaise that we have in Victoria, in fact, Australia today, which is the rate of reoffending.
Yeah, it's just win-win-win.
Of course.
Karolina, just bearing in mind the challenges to date around the pandemic, have you any positive stories you can share?
We've got quite a few, but the main one that springs to mind is when we helped deliver food to the people in the Flemington Towers during the lockdown. Rob got a phone call, I think that late Saturday afternoon, asking if we could help. And by Monday morning, we were packing food boxes. First day we delivered 1,000 boxes to the towers, and the following day we delivered another 1,500. So in total, we delivered 2,500 food boxes to all the families that were up in those towers during lockdown. And a great achievement. We all felt super proud to be able to help more people.
That's lovely. Thanks for sharing that. Following up from that, what was your number one takeaway as a social enterprise during this time?
Well, still being here is a good one. But not only did we get through COVID, we actually flourished, because I'm just going to hold this up. We won the Small Social Enterprise of the Year through the Social Traders Award, so that's voted by our peers and customers who are linked to the social traders. So that's nationwide, and we took home the trophy for this, which we're super proud of. So having this during a pandemic that no one has seen in history, and coming through it with an award, where we're super proud.
That is amazing.
They're fabulous. I do have to say that that listening to you talk, I did get goosebumps. So that's it's always a really well, it's a telling response, isn't it? It's beautiful. And so I guess from there, Rob, what are your goals for 2021 and beyond?
It's actually a simple volumetric business. The more fruit and milk and pantry items that we can deliver to our customers, the more chances we create, which is why we're called chance creators, because that's what we do. Even though we deliver fruit and milk, we actually, a real why is to create chances for people. So the bigger we get, the more chances we create. And it's not about growing revenue for the sake of ego or status. It's about growing revenue so we can create chances for more people. And as much as helping the individual, by doing what we do and being relatively successful at it, we stop people reoffending. Nobody has gone back to jail in 5 years. Now that's against a benchmark in Victoria of 50% of people released from prison today will be back in prison again in less than 2 years. We've had nobody go back to prison. Yeah. And Karolina alluded to the taxpayer saving. The other saving at a personal level is that if I'm stopping people reoffending, by doing that, I'm stopping them breaking into your house, yeah, and stealing your car, right, or stealing your wallet, or whatever the hell it happens to be. So there's a direct impact on society at an individual level if we can stop people reoffending.
That's so great. Rob, if you could advise, on the back of that, if you could advise a business to engage with a social enterprise, what would that advice be?
The first thing is to identify why you're doing it. So if you're doing it for commercial reasons or to hit a social procurement target, there's nothing wrong with that, that's fine. But be clear on why you're doing it. If you're doing it for because you align with the purpose of that organization, then that's equally fine. So identifying why you're doing it is important. And then making sure that the expectation that you have and that the expectation you set with a social enterprise is aligned. Because I come from a large corporate background, so I'm not from the not-for-profit sector. And the danger is that large organizations or large contractors who engage with a social enterprise who are less mature in terms of processes and systems, there can be a disconnect. So it's making sure that right from the get-go, there's alignment around what the expectation is, both in terms of service delivery and contractual delivery, so that you don't end up with a disconnect and therefore typically ending in tears halfway through the process.
It's been so lovely to hear your answers to all of those questions, and thank you both so much. But finally, it would be remiss of me, as we are all in Victoria and on the eve of a new footy season, if I didn't ask, and I'm going to direct to you first, Karolina, who do you barrack for?
Well, okay, I grew up watching rugby league, so I'm from New South Wales. But if I was to choose a team on behalf of the team out there on the floor, I would say, go the Pies!
Ah, yay! Well, I'm also a Melbourne Storms member, so I can appreciate both codes. So that's lovely to hear. And what about you, Rob?
Actually, no, being a Scot, this AFL game completely confused me. I've never seen anything like it. And rugby league, as far as I'm concerned, is not rugby either. The only rugby that exists is rugby union, which I played for most of my life. So I don't actually barrack for an AFL team, but I follow rugby union passionately. And my favourite team in the world are the All Blacks, even though I'm a Scot and I've got an Australian passport.
Sometimes you just got to appreciate the best of the best, don't you?
Stunning, absolutely stunning.
Oh, fantastic! Well, thank you very much. And I whenever I hear "Go Pies," I just it does make me excited. I can't deny it. So thanks again for joining us today, and we appreciate you both taking the time and sharing your inspiring story. And we wish you all the best in achieving goals for 21 and obviously beyond that, and hopefully there's more awards and that the amazing work that you're doing, we're delighted to be associated with Fruit2Work in this capacity, and hope to work with you more going forward. Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Take care.